Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 1992 Martin Luther King Jr. Parade through the streets of downtown Jackson, honoring the commitment and sacrifice of our great civil rights leaders, such as Dr. King himself and Mississippi's own Medgar Evers. We are at Freedom Corner, the corner of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and Medgar Evers Boulevard, to bring you today's parade, which is about ready to kick off. And to say that the weather has not brilliantly cooperated would be a severe understatement. But the march will go on honoring Dr. King, and it has already begun as it approaches Freedom Corner. Dr. King, of course, a veteran of many of these marches through all kinds of weather, and in a way the parade going on in the worst weather of 1992 to date honors again the sacrifice of Dr. King. The parade chairman is Kenneth Stokes, city councilman from Jackson, and he of course has told all the media that the parade will continue in rain, sleet, or snow, and in the forecast we may see a little bit of all of that according to the latest National Weather Service report. In this parade, of course, we will see numerous high school marching bands. We will, of course, see the incredible entertainment of the Sonic Boom of the South from Jackson State University. Also, the marching band from Alcorn will be here today. Many politicians, many of our great leaders. Our leaders of the past and our leaders of the present, many of those, of course, are the same people. Kenneth Stokes, the parade chairman, had estimated that anywhere from 10,000 or more people could be witnessing and taking part in this parade. Unfortunately, the weather will keep that down. The crowd is rather sparse, but certainly we hope we have an opportunity to bring the parade to those of you who have not yet had the chance to witness this. And this, of course, is perhaps the greatest parade in Mississippi. Some spectators just beginning to show up now. It's a little bit after 10 o'clock. We started right on time, as Kenneth Stokes said we would. Kenneth Stokes, the city councilman and parade chairman. Our parade marshals today include Dr. Aaron Henry, the state leader of the NAACP, as well as Charles Tisdale, publisher of The Advocate here in Jackson. In addition, Chancery Clerk Charles Evers was scheduled to be one of the parade marshals. Also young Ms. Roberts, Ms. Tougaloo, among the leaders of this parade. Jim Hill High School will be performing next here. This is the 1992 Martin Luther King Jr. Parade through the streets of downtown Jackson. We are watching now from Freedom Corner, the intersection of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and Medgar Evers Boulevard. We'll get back to the folks from Jim Hill in just a moment as we switch back to our first band and its activities. Apologize for not being able to give a clear indication of who our first band is here today, but there were some changes made in the schedule, I believe, due to the weather. And now the marching will continue forward. It's about a 2-mile or more journey. I believe the parade in length should be about 2 miles long from start to finish. Marching through Freedom Corner in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and so many who have sacrificed so much for equality for all of us. The Jim Hill High School Marching Band. I understand that due to the weather, not everyone, of course, got to participate today. Some folks were not equipped with the proper rain gear and were not able to march. I believe some of our ROTC people were unable to march today. But of course, the parade goes on in the way that Dr. King would have had it go on. Dr. King, of course, marched through such incredible conditions as one cannot imagine. Not only the weather, but of course, the additional conditions he encountered. Cities that would not welcome him, city councils that would vote his marches out. They would go on anyway. And of course, there were many legal challenges. Jim Hill High School again here at the 1992 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parade. Corner in downtown Jackson, Mississippi. The intersection of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and Medgar Evers Boulevard. The 1992 Dr. King Parade continues. Of course, Jackson is a site of so much history, past and present, of course, history in the making, and so much of it can be viewed through so many of our people. So many courageous people. Of course, it's incumbent upon all of us to learn more about our history. Certainly, we invite you to do so by witnessing events such as the Dr. King Parade held each year, through going to Smith Robertson Museum off of High Street. And so many of the folks you will see there are folks who are among us yet today, so many courageous individuals. It's amazing to see how many of your friends and family, perhaps, are among those featured in Smith Robertson Museum. The parade continues through the incredible weather, the worst weather to date of 1992 on this Saturday, January the 18th, as we did this taping. Johnson Elementary. Here are some committed youngsters, our leaders of tomorrow. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of those young Tigers in the years ahead. We apologize that, of course, due to the inclement weather, some of the scheduling perhaps has been changed. We are not able to certainly identify all the folks here. We'll do our best. Jordan Grove Church, Pastor Jordan. Don't know if that is a good pastor there. Perhaps it is. Hello, folks. Project Head Start, taking part in the 1992 Martin Luther King Jr. Parade through downtown Jackson. And of course, our teachers on the move. Again, in the weather forecast for today on this Saturday, January 18th, as we did this taping, the worst possible conditions one could perhaps imagine. Right now, the rain continuing and a chance of freezing rain, sleet, and then snow is in the forecast. But of course, the civil rights movement folks have encountered more than this, and they are indeed our heroes. There's a candidate for political office, Jackson attorney Liz Gilchrist. And there, of course, is Representative Friedel Calhoun represented, and Peggy Hobson. There's Representative Calhoun at the wheel, at the controls. Very involved man. Not sure who we have here besides a few spectators, some archers. Dr. Hattie McLinn from the Jackson Public School System at the initial news conference pertaining to the events of what essentially is Dr. King Month. Talked about the importance of children and talked about her upbringing and how important it is for all of us to learn our history, and certainly that is being done through events such as this parade. This is McLean High School from Lexington, Mississippi. High schools from throughout Mississippi represented here today. McLean High School from Lexington, Mississippi. The 1992 Dr. King Parade continues through the streets of downtown Jackson. I want to move the camera around here a little bit. I am a one-man band, so please bear with me here. See if we can get some of the folks performing. McLean High School. The Dr. King Parade continues. We are broadcasting on the Cable Access Channel. I'm Scott Ely bringing you this parade, and as I mentioned before, I'm a one-man band, so you'll have to bear with me here. I'm operating a camera in the pouring rain and holding a microphone in the left hand and a camera in my right hand, so please bear with me. We will, of course, experience occasional technical difficulties. We are at the intersection of Medgar Evers Boulevard. Medgar Evers, of course, the field secretary for the NAACP, who was slain. What an eloquent man. I heard one of his speeches recently at an NAACP meeting here in Jackson, and a young man in the organization gave one of Medgar Evers' speeches, and the incredible eloquence of that man, and of course the incredible sincerity, warmth that I've read about, and of course his bravery. Saluted in, of course, many activities throughout this month, and of course next month in Black History Month. bit of dreaming. Of course, a salute to Dr. King and the dream that we all share, hopefully. Hopefully all of us share this wonderful vision of what our nation, what our Mississippi, what Jackson could be. Again, we apologize. We're not certainly able to identify a number of folks who are with us and taking part in this parade, our entertainment here. That, of course, is due to the weather. I believe a number of the banners that were to be used here today could not be used because, of course, they were made out of some paper that just simply didn't hold up in this rain. Take a look and see how far traffic is backed up. Perhaps not everyone was aware of today's parade, but as you can probably imagine, the backup here at the intersection goes on for quite a distance, and perhaps this is one additional way of making people aware that the parade is going on. It's an annual event, and a great event it is here in Jackson, Mississippi. Horses, buses, high school marching bands, politicians, all joined together in a salute to Dr. King. There's a pause in the action. Some of our buses that, of course, have brought people from throughout Mississippi to this parade, generally for participation, perhaps some lining up buses solely for spectating purposes. The 1992 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parade continues. We're at the Freedom Corner intersection, Medgar Evers Boulevard and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. As there's a pause in the action, we certainly want to encourage everyone to partake of the events of Black History Month, and certainly learning all about the history of Jackson, the history of Mississippi. There's another opportunity besides the, of course, all the activities going on around here and the wonderful activities that are planned at Smith Robertson Museum, of course, the NAACP meetings, various activities. There's a wonderful opportunity now in Memphis, Tennessee, at the site of the former Lorraine Motel. And certainly there are many exhibits. I've been to the museum twice. There are many exhibits that feature our great heroes from Mississippi. Of course, we do see Medgar Evers. The other additional slain civil rights folks, the 3 youngsters who were slain in northern Mississippi, are paid tribute to. Of course, there are many photos of James Meredith's marches. Of course, some of the folks that we are not necessarily paying tribute today, but the former governors of Mississippi during that time period are heard. One, Governor Barnett, in a conversation with President Kennedy. The telephone conversation is actually, I believe, recorded and played back at the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, Tennessee. So we have a lull in the action here at the 1992 Martin Luther King Jr. Parade. There are some of the folks who are making this parade possible. And certainly this parade is one of the activities authorized and encouraged by the statewide commission on the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Dr. Aaron Henry, the chairman. Who knows what's ahead at the 1992 Martin Luther King Jr. Parade in Jackson, Mississippi. appears we have coming up some more political folks, some more churches being recognized, various officials being driven through this parade. Perhaps some of them had intended to march. And this is a very long parade route. We won't get a chance to see everyone we had intended to see. And not everyone will be identified as clearly perhaps as this. Brotherhood saluted, certainly another of the things Dr. King stood for. Well, so many activities were planned and have gone on throughout this month. One of the most brilliant, of course, was the activity at the Citywide Auditorium. The citywide celebration featuring the adult and youth choirs and the tributes to the movement. Apologize for the at times jerky camera movement, but Jackson Human Rights Coalition taking part here today. The weather outside is frightful, but the folks continuing to march. Well, the crowd certainly is what we had hoped it would be today. That, of course, is due to the weather, and the umbrellas are out. One of my favorite parts of the parade, perhaps some candy out there. Unfortunately, neither one of my hands is free, so that's ruled out for me personally, but the youngsters certainly enjoying it. Some messages for the folks in the audience, you at home. We're glad to have the opportunity to bring you this parade because we know so many people haven't had a chance to enjoy it as we had hoped. To be featured in this parade, according to the schedule, was, of course, the Sonic Boom of the South, also the band from Alcorn State University. And as far as identifying some of these bands, you folks at home will have to be on your own, because some of the banners that were planned to be here didn't get a chance to get out because of the rain. Of the weather, a little better with some of the display out of the way now for us. Wave some of our ROTC young people. Hello, folks. This is the 1992 parade at Freedom Corner through downtown Jackson in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King, and also many like him, many among him, who helped give us some of the rights we have today, and all of us certainly benefit from the work of Dr. King, keeping that dream alive. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that may have been the parade chairman going by quickly, Kenneth Stokes. I know he was out here early in the hat. And we had a lot of work to do with this terrible weather we've had today, and lining people up and making sure folks were here and that people were represented properly. The Youth Services Corps represented here. Too legit. Too legit to quit. I won't rap for you folks at home, so please stay tuned. Of course, Hammer taking part in the national celebration, along with Evander Holyfield and some others in the national parade. I believe that was to be in Atlanta. Atlanta would make sense, certainly that being the home of Evander Holyfield, our heavyweight champion, heavyweight boxing champion. Windshield wipers very prevalent throughout this parade and on the vehicles that are with us in this march.